Hi, Dr. Neihm. I'm just going to ask you a few questions about entrepreneurship. So what drove you to become a professor in entrepreneurship at Iowa State?
Wow. Well, I uh, had always been involved in textiles and clothing and merchandising with my undergrad and my master's degree. But when I was working on my PhD, I had the opportunity to do some small business consulting, and I worked with the Michigan Retailer Association, and it just really all clicked for me. And my advisor was really interested in innovation and entrepreneurship, and from that point on, I really started working with entrepreneurs. My family has a family owned business, so there was entrepreneurship there, and it just all kind of came together, and I found that that was a real passion for me, that I liked creating something out of nothing, and just really being able to develop businesses and also help other people to make their businesses successful. So even I think it was something I was involved with from a very early stage, but it really became formalized when I worked on my PhD at Michigan State.
Fantastic. So for the people who kind of don't know, like the incoming college students who don't really know what entrepreneurship is, can you kind of explain what that is for them?
Sure. Well, I think a lot of people, when they hear entrepreneurship, they think about starting your own business. And that's a very common way to understand entrepreneurship. But we at Iowa State, and I think it's becoming a more broad definition of it as well. It's really a mindset, it's a way of thinking. So it's a way of thinking in terms of bringing newness and innovation and really creative, out of the box thinking to not only a business that you might start, but it could also be in organizations that you're part of. It could be within a larger company. I mean, larger companies are looking for people that don't just wait to be told what to do, that they need and want really novel new ideas that are going to help them to be successful brands as well. So, entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial thinking, where you're creating added value through really innovative and creative means, new approaches. That can be, again, in your own business. It can be inside of a larger business. It can be in your own personal life. It can be in organizations you belong to and in your community. So there's all different ways that you can apply entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so what kind of made you especially want to be a professor specifically for entrepreneurship?
Mm. Well, Iowa State, first of all, I was looking for that kind of position, a variety of schools when I finished my PhD, but Iowa State really had great opportunities in entrepreneurship. We're a land grant institution, and that means that we really try to reach out to the state of Iowa and to businesses and consumers and residents that live in the state, and really to help them to be successful, to help economic development and that sort of thing. And I thought, wow, that sounds like a really great place for me. And it really has been a great place for me, that I've been able to, help other people through entrepreneurship. I've been able to develop my own research through entrepreneurship, and to teach other students to go out and to be entrepreneurs or to be researchers or have their own business, et cetera, with the entrepreneurship content that I have been able to develop here at Iowa State. So, I think because entrepreneurship is always forward moving, it's answering this very big but basic question. How can I make things better? Right. So whether it's your business again, or your own life or your community, I think entrepreneurial thinking helps you to do that. So that really drove me, even more so to want to incorporate that. I also teach retailing. So, I kind of, my work kind of fuses those two areas together. So as I look at fashion related businesses, retail and community based businesses of all types, that's kind of the big question. How can we help them and help them to be better?
Yeah. So, as a merchandising student myself with a minor in entrepreneurship, what would you say the most rewarding part of entrepreneurship is?
Well, again, I think it's that being able to say, I came up with something novel, something new that other people hadn't done quite the same way. Now, I always tell my students there are what we call radical innovations, those things that really are totally new, like way back a few years ago, microwaves were all new, no one had those before. So clearly in your lifetime, you've always known those, but that's an example of something radical. But even other changes to existing products and designs and those technologies and those sorts of things, that's bringing new value to market. And there's not just everybody that can do that, that it takes a special person to say, wow, I have an idea, and I think that other people may like that idea too, and here's why, and you can really develop the whole foundation to make that idea feasible and bring it to market. And I just find that so exciting, and it's rewarding to see students light up when they're able to do that. So, I hope that you and others will feel some of those rewarding feelings through entrepreneurship, whichever direction it takes you, in a large firm, your own business, your community, whatever it might be.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Have you yourself actually become an entrepreneur, or have you assisted in anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, in my prior to academia life, certainly I didn't have my own business, but I think I used entrepreneurial thinking within retail businesses that I worked in. And I am part of a family-owned business. Now, am I the full-time, director of that business? No, because I'm a full-time instructor, professor at Iowa State. But I certainly give input and directional thinking, do some research, market research, give my 2 cents worth in terms of what I think are good competitive moves for our family-owned business. So I certainly engage in entrepreneurship in that way, in an applied way. I'm constantly doing it as someone in academia, and probably you think, oh, professors, all they do is teach. They're not entrepreneurs. Professors have to be very entrepreneurial in order to come up with new ideas for their courses, new experiential learning for their students. Well, that sounds really great. How am I going to fund that? I have to figure out a way to do it. So there are all these different things that come into play. Even how am I going to get my research, get a grant or get research into particular journals or et cetera. I need to partner with certain people. So I'm thinking creatively in terms of how to do those sorts of things too. So you get my point. I think that doesn't matter what line of work you're in, that entrepreneurial thinking certainly helps you to achieve goals that you have and to make things better, no matter what the context is.
Yeah, so I know you mentioned that you are also a professor for retailing at Iowa State. What's your favorite part of working with AMD majors at Iowa State?
Wow. I mean, my whole background is in AMD from my very early stages as an undergrad, until now. So that's really where my passion is. I love small retail businesses, boutiques, lifestyle boutiques, and to me that's really where you interface with the consumer, and students' ideas are directly interpretable, to delivering value to the consumer. So I really like working with AMD students because of the creation of new lines, new collections, maybe product development, and they're going to bring products, through an online store or through a physical boutique or both. I mean, there's all kinds of new retail formats out there, ways to reach your customers. So I think that's really exciting too, is to help students in this multi-channel, omni-channel environment to bring their product and business ideas to life. So I just find AMD majors just very close to my heart, and interests that I have in terms of businesses and products, and to see them really light up when they're able to have some of their products, like in our new Innovate 1858 retail store at the Innovation Center. and you see that they're, again, starting from nothing, and now they're bringing their brand to the marketplace. That's very exciting for me.
Absolutely. So I think we have time for just one more question. So is there anything you would like to share with incoming college students about the entrepreneurship program here at Iowa State?
Yeah, I would certainly like to say that I think we have more of a specific focus and range of opportunities for students related to entrepreneurship at Iowa State than any of the other institutions that have similar AMD programs. When I look at the course content that we have, and really all of our courses in AMD, I think use innovative and entrepreneurial thinking. I mean, that's just kind of that's the way we roll here at Iowa State is to think that way. So I think it's across the board in our programs. We have specific entrepreneurship courses. Our Entrepreneurship in Human Sciences 474 class that I teach. In the 275 retail merchandising class, we certainly talk about entrepreneurship, and we have a new class that we've just offered the last 2 semesters, creating an online business. So there are even very specific entrepreneurship classes such as that, as well as our new store that I mentioned previously in the Innovation Center. Called Innovate 1858. So that is a program managed, student operated retail store, and it is a small business. We are a new startup business, and so it gives students the opportunity to learn all of the behind the scenes functions of what it takes to start up and operate a small business. And it also provides other student entrepreneurs with opportunities to create product that then can be sold. They can launch their brand and sell their product. We essentially buy it from them, and now there are vendors, and we're reselling it in Innovate 1858. So, and there are more opportunities than that associated, pardon me, with the store. But I mean, I am hard pressed to think of other places where you can get that amount of hands-on real world learning experience related to entrepreneurship and AMD together. So that's I guess kind of my concluding point about all of that.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for letting me interview today.
You're welcome. It's been great talking to you.